Today's video, or what I want to talk about, is really just the process of getting started. I put out a post earlier this morning about how you can get started and ways to go about it so that you're not overwhelming yourself. And here's the deal. Oftentimes, this is what I see. I see a lot of people who wait so long and let all these things compile up in their life, and they become overwhelmed and they just don't have a starting point. And that's what I want to talk about today, because here's the key, man. The key is this, is just with anything else, like there's always going to be a process with multiple steps to get to where you want to be. It doesn't matter what area of life we're talking about. So if you're talking about finances, fitness, whatever it might be, you're always going to have to take steps to get to where you want to be. And so what I'm going to talk about, obviously with health and wellness, and that's what I do, is that, so many times I see people waiting so long to get started, and that's okay. I mean, you can't take back time. Hindsight's always 20/20. And so what I want you to know is there's always a starting point. And with the starting point, it's this, man. Like, stop overwhelming yourself with trying to focus on so many things at once. It's not worth your time, guys. You've got to stop focusing on trying to do, 6 things at once. There's no reason to overhaul your diet. There's no reason to jump out and try to start running 5 miles a day. You're setting yourself up for success. So what I want you to do is start focusing on 1 or 2 things each week that you can implement today and start building some momentum. Like with many things in life, momentum is key, man. Momentum is so huge. And when you can start to build some momentum, whether that's, fitness, finances, relationships, whatever, when you start to build some momentum, you start to get confident and you start to become a believer in yourself and knowing that you can follow through with your short-term goals and your long-term goals. So, if you're somebody who needs to lose 50 pounds, stop thinking about the 50 pounds that you need to lose. Start thinking about things you can do today that are very easily accomplishable so that it'll set you up for success. So, I know I've used the example of walking 3 times a week for 10 minutes in the past. So, when it comes to exercise, if you need to start with something like that to build some momentum, by all means do it. That's the key, is that you don't want to overwhelm yourself with too many things to do, or you're never going to get started. Or if you do get started, you're going to set yourself up for failure. And I see it so much, is that people are like, I'm going to make a change. I've been eating like shit. I've been eating like a garbage disposal. I feel like a garbage disposal. I don't drink any water. I drink a bunch of soda. I eat fast food 6 times a week. And you know what? Starting tomorrow, I'm going to change it all. I'm going to run 5 miles a day, and I'm going to fix my life. Tell me how realistic that sounds to you. Just ask yourself, is that even a realistic scenario? If you have 16 things that need to be changed, you're not going to change all 16 at once. So what you need to do is start focusing on 1 or 2 things, 1 or 2 small things that you can fix. And they don't even have to be things that you absolutely hate. If you hate the idea of fitness and you hate the idea of exercising, don't even think about that right now. Pick some other things that you can work on. If you're someone who doesn't drink any water, start picking it up on the water drinking. Start cutting back on soda. If you're someone who drinks a lot of soda, take your soda consumption from 4 a day to 3 a day. Take that soda from 3 a day to 2 a day. Any amount of sugar that you can cut out of your diet will help you tremendously moving forward, not just with weight loss, but just general health and well-being. And so, I really want to emphasize the fact that if you're picking 6 or 7 things to work on at once, guys, you're setting yourself up for failure, just like with anything else. You're not going to go from making $1,000 a month to $100,000 a month overnight. There's a process that has to take place. And so setting short-term goals, things that are accomplishable, that are very easily attainable for you and that you can wrap your head around, is where you got to start. So for you, if it's exercise, just start off with walking. Like I tell people all the time, and so many people think that if I'm not spending hours and hours in the gym, I'm not going to get results. It's bullshit, guys. That's the thing, is that when it comes to exercise, depending on what your goals are, exercise does not need to be strenuous, but it does need to be consistent. And so if you're someone who hasn't started exercising at all, don't even think about the dude that spends 8 hours a week in the gym. That's not your goal. Your goal is to simply get started, feel better about yourself, and start feeling healthier when you get out of bed every day. So, obviously if your long-term goal is to get all ripped and shredded and do those things, then obviously there's a certain level of intensity that needs to happen to make those goals come real or come true. But the bottom line is just getting started is a hell of a lot better than staying stuck where you're at or taking a few steps back each week, man. Just build some momentum, guys. I'm telling you right now, pick a few nights a week that you're going to try to eat a little healthier. Pick a few days a week. Schedule it out on your calendar. I'm telling you right now, it sounds elementary as hell, but I tell people all the time, and the people that follow through with it typically have success. Schedule your workouts on your calendar, man, because when that day comes up and you can go in and see that you've put a little X or a little check on the days that you plan to work out, that's very rewarding. And I know it seems elementary as hell, but when you look back over the span of a month, and if your goal was 3 days a week, and you can look back and you saw that you worked out 12 days, that's pretty kick-ass. And that's the momentum that I'm talking about. So I really just wanted to not overemphasize, but emphasize the hell out of this, because oftentimes I see people, man, they just become so frustrated with not knowing where to start, not having a starting point, because they try to take on too much at one time. And then you just set yourself up for failure, and it becomes a vicious cycle, and you never end up getting started because you don't pick the 2 or 3 things that I'm referring to work on that you can actually do. So hope you guys got something out of this, man. I hope y'all all have a fantastic week.